And welcome back to Real News Michiana's Real News Roundup. I'm your host, Ben, and this bearded-looking assassin to the right of your screen, sitting next to me, is Clifton French. He's the editor and the founder of Real News Michiana. How's it going, Clifton?
Hey, Ben, I'm doing well. I like your new intro.
Thank you. I'm working on new ones. So, hey, while we're at it, if you guys would please like and subscribe to this channel, and then go on over to realnewsmichiana.com. That'll be below this video here. Okay, I want you to click on it. It'll be in the video description as well. And please be a subscriber. That's what helps keeps the light on. I say this every week. If you subscribe to our channel, it helps keep local news that affects you directly coming to you.
All right, perfect.
All righty. So the first story we're going to talk about this week is the Democrat St. Joseph County Health Board. They had a member on there that they got illegally. Is that right, Clifton?
Yeah. So it looks like there have been several illegal appointments on the Board of Health, right? The group that has been pushing for vaccine mandates, for businesses to be closed, for mask mandates across the county, all of that. And it's full of these Democrats, right? So if I had done an investigation into this one member who had been reappointed to the board, and it didn't look like she should have been, right? So the crux of the issue here, there are two issues. One, the political makeup of the board has to be so many Republicans and so many Democrats. You can't have, and that's according to state law. Well, they had more Democrats than Republicans. Way too many. Okay. And so I looked at, I got all the voting records, right? So that's how you declare what party you are in Indiana, is through your primary voting, right? I'm Democrat, I'm Republican, this is how I'm voting. And it was 5 members, I think 5 or 6 members and only two. So 5 or 6 Democrats and only 2 Republicans. Well, that was illegal. So after I did that story a couple months ago, this woman had not been back. Her name is Emily Dean. She's an obvious Democrat, and Mayor James Mueller reappointed her to the board illegally. She was not supposed to be there, just solely based on the political makeup of it, right? So she had not been back. I was being run around. People weren't telling me what was going on, why she wasn't there, even though it was pretty obvious. Well, it turns out that after they were looking into all this stuff that I did and the political makeup of the board, they discovered something else. So before, it was the mayors and the county commission got so many appointments onto the board. Not supposed to happen. In 2017, that law changed. Only the county commissioners are supposed to be appointing everybody to the board. So this woman was twice illegally appointed. So that means pretty much everybody who's on the board right now, everybody who's on the health board right now, who was not appointed by the county commission, is sitting there illegally.
Let's back this up a little bit. These are the same people that were forcing us to wear masks, correct?
All across the county.
All this masks. So
closing down all the businesses.
It's almost as if political appointees, illegally appointees, politicizing science.
Oh.
So, really? That's strange.
Isn't man. Where's your tinfoil hat, Ben?
I don't know. It's craziness. So it's like we've been saying this for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Then here we have solid proof. We've been manipulating, I guess, what do you call it, recommendations? Mm-hmm. So these recommendations have been manipulated and calling it science. These people,
a
bunch of Democrats.
Yeah, and they were all on there illegally, except the ones who had been put on by the county commission.
So what are they doing about it now?
I know that Emily Dean, she was the last one who was appointed by Mayor Mueller, right? She is gone, and the commissioners put somebody else on there, right? Obviously, the commissioners are made up of Republicans, so I would assume that she is also a Republican. But that has definitely changed the makeup now. I don't know if they're just going to remove the other people who shouldn't be on the board or not. I think you should use your political power at this point. That's what they have been doing. No holds barred. Use your political power, remove these people who are legally put on that board, who are all Democrats, and put some freedom-loving people who actually follow real science on this board, so we don't run into something else like this again. I don't think you can understate how terrible of an issue this is, how big of an issue this is. These people destroyed businesses throughout our community. They destroyed lives. They have destroyed children's lives. And and they were all on this board illegally.
Don't worry. Holcomb is all over this, Clifton.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next topic, we're going to be talking about the South Bend abortion clinic again, apparently.
Yeah. So, Ben, I'm doing lots and lots of stories on Whole Women's Health. I'm hammering them. They are a terrible, terrible organization. They have allied themselves with Antifa, with the Northern Indiana Atheists, which is a terrible organization, and with the Indiana Satanic Temple. So, bad.
Pretty good characters there.
Yeah, bad organization, right?
Pretty good company to be in.
So, I mean, and obviously, if you're a Satanist, right, abortion is child sacrifice. So, that's what they do. They're great people. So, anyway, the abortion clinic, though, I'm getting as many documents as I can on this place because they are shady. They're a terrible organization. This place, I mean, it's an abortion clinic, so you'd expect something like that. But I have, I uncovered two what they call TPRs, terminated pregnancy reports. Okay, these TPRs are done every single time there's an abortion done. Whole Women's Health in South Bend is a pill-only clinic, so they're allowed to give abortion pills to women up to 10 weeks of pregnancy. Okay, well, I find two TPRs, two of these reports from 2019, late 2019. That show surgical abortions being done, which is illegal because they are not licensed to do so. One of the reports, and these reports are made out by the doctors, by the clinic itself. Both of them are a first trimester surgical abortion procedure where they open the cervix using metal rods, insert a tube, and they suck out the baby and its parts that way. Okay.
That sounds
it's
awful.
pretty awful. Okay.
Yeah.
And in both of these reports, they put in that they left parts inside of the mothers. I'm working. So these are legitimate reports, right? I'm working to see if there was an error in the reporting. I'm working to see if the Indiana Department of Health is doing anything about this. I'm working to see, like what is going on with this clinic. By the way, they went unlicensed for years. They had a provisional license because of a federal judge saying, Indiana, give them a provisional license. While the state of Indiana was saying, no, you guys have a terrible reputation. We're not giving you a license. Then we have Rhino Governor Holcomb who comes around and says, hey, listen, we're going to give you a license now so you can be properly inspected. Which
I'm sure Comrade Holcomb's going to kick him in line.
Yeah. Well, so then I end up getting an email from the organization that was sent along to me. From Whole Women's Health, because they're all over the country, right? Talking about what they're planning on doing in South Bend. Well, while they apparently have been doing these illegal surgical abortions anyway, right now they are planning to expand to potentially legally do surgical abortions within the clinic. So they sent out an email to all of their followers, all their big supporters on Hoorah, Let's Kill Babies, to prepare the clinic and staff for upcoming expansion to offer in-clinic abortion procedures up to 13.6 weeks. This place needs to be shut down. Their reputation is insanely bad. They reported, I have another TPR of them reporting a maternal death from abortion pills. Still haven't been able to get any information on that from the Department of Health. It's bad.
You ever notice a pattern here, how these liberal institutions somehow exempt from transparency, right? So teachers exempted from transparency, abortion clinics exempted from transparency. And if you dare ask for transparency, all of a sudden you're a racist. You're all these bad things. And with the est, right? You're all these bad things. That's a pattern. Everything that Democrats run, they want zero transparency. It's the same case here, but I'll bet you what. They're the first ones that want police officers to wear body cams, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're the same people that want a transparency for everybody else except them. Yep,
exactly. So this organization, every single issue with this organization is going to be uncovered. And I'm going to be spending every single week diving into something about Whole Women's Health in South Bend.
And the more subscribers we get, the more uncovering we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shameless plug. Let's move on to the next story. So here we're going to talk about a fake history teacher that loves CRT. Imagine that. Let's go, Clifton. What do you got on this one?
Oh, man. Who would have thought that Nicole Hannah-Jones, did you know Nicole Hannah-Jones was a Notre Dame alum? So I didn't know this prior. Nicole Hannah-Jones, the famed journalist, the Pulitzer winner, who wrote the
famed journalist.
Yeah, who wrote the 1619 Project, which is just fake history, right?
Right.
She won a Pulitzer for this because a bunch of leftists were like, okay, yeah, we'll agree with you. She believes that the entire country was founded in 1619 instead of 1776, and that it's all based on slavery and oppression and all of that, that any of the ideals of freedom had nothing to do with the country, right? I mean, she's just a commie. She's a race baiting grifter who has made a ton of money on selling racism, right? So this woman, she's coming back to Notre Dame. I'll keep this short and sweet. She's awful. She's terrible. She's coming back to Notre Dame to speak to their journalism department.
Their journalism department. Wow.
She is, Notre Dame's best example of Marxist indoctrination since Mayor Pete's dad. She's freaking awful. So anyway, she's coming back to Notre Dame.
I feel like I should have played the Russian national anthem just speaking about her.
Let's do it.
Moving on to the next story. Columbia City, Indiana. They have their school board just set up this new rule, I guess, where parents are limited to speak to only 10 parents per board meeting. That's insane.
Yeah, so I will tell you, Ben, this school district is a mess. I mean, this is, they are in the middle of nowhere. This is super, super rural, right? This is Whitley County Consolidated Schools. They're obviously the headquarters is in Columbia City. This board just voted. They were having parents come out and get involved, okay? Parents are coming out, getting involved. They're upset about a lot of things. They're upset about masks. They're upset about other COVID stuff. They're upset about CRT that was seeping into their schools. They're upset about certain books that discussed, explicit sexual material, right? So they were upset about all of these things, and parents started getting involved and they started voicing up. Well, the school district just decided, hey, listen, we're going to change our rules now because we don't want to hear you. We're going to change our rules. And by the way, the school district can legally do this, which is insane.
Yes.
Where there are laws. There's certain legislation that's going through with the Indiana legislature right now to change that, to make sure that parents can speak. But right now, currently, the school district can do this. So they just said, hey, we're going to make all these new rules. You got 3 minutes, which is fine, but only 30 minutes, meaning only 10 parents can ever talk. And if we don't get to you, tough luck. Tough luck. You have no way of publicly telling us anything. Exactly what this board did right here, right, is this was my first, in December, this was on Tucker Carlson. Tucker picked up this story where the vice president of this board hired his own law firm to threaten and send legal threatening messages to a parent who had been speaking out about masking, right, and about COVID measures and all of that. He had been speaking out about all that. He had his own law firm. The vice president of the school board had his own law firm.
Of course.
Send these letters to him saying you cannot talk to anybody in the school district. You cannot talk to parents, you can't talk to your kid's own teachers. You can't talk to anybody, or else we're gonna have legal action against you. Insane. So that's exactly what this district is all about. They're all about
carrying on Vladimir Putin's legacy.
They're just
all they're doing.
Shut up, parents. You have no right. We know what's best for your kids. Keep your mouth shut.
I actually posted your story on a friend of mine's Facebook page because he's from Columbia City. He has a lot of friends from the surrounding area. And it turns out a middle school history teacher responded. I think they're middle school, but definitely a history teacher responded. And I'm gonna show it real quick. Okay. So my friend Ty at the top, basically he had wrote that they were being commies, right? They were being a bunch of communists. So this teacher says, he responds, so voting in a legal process or procedure makes it communist, ? Obviously defending this, right? And then he writes that your article, Clifton, is totally biased. I would only suggest looking deeper into the issue than what is barely scratched on the surface here. But
yeah, I don't think that this person, I don't think if this is a teacher there, I don't think this teacher has been paying any attention to what's going on. I've been paying attention for months and months and months. I suggest that he go and read my other stories that I did.
But wait, there's more. This guy writes, to my friend Ty, no worries. I'm not here to start a fight or feel you are either. I work at WCCS schools, as we just talked about.
Mhm.
I know there were people outspoken with the COVID mandates, but their fight should have been with the governor's office. Sorry, that's not right either.
Nope.
Recently, you have a group of people about the age of grandparents that are going to different school board meetings around the country to protest certain literature, voice their concerns of critical race theory, etc. I don't know every detail, but I know that it has become very combative, disrespectful, and disruptive to the business the school board is trying to complete. That's about all I know. That was his response.
Yeah, so this person also agrees that you should have no say in what your children are being taught.
Right. So that's the part where I injected myself.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a response to that. So my response to that was, hey, Ryan, have you seen half the crap they're indoctrinating our children with? Approved curriculum is what's disrespectful. When parents read out loud what their kids are forced to read and discuss, in many cases, 10 to 12-year-olds, it sounds combative, disgusting, and disruptive. So perhaps when they stop running confirmation indoctrination factories, all this will stop and go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote that, and I guess he had a little bit of a response to that.
So why? My question is, like, why do you think parents are getting involved? Why do you think parents are getting involved? Maybe because they're upset about something, and maybe you should listen to them. Don't brush off the parents. Don't do it. You brush off the parents, you're going to make parents mad.
That's the biggest mistake this guy could make. Here's the last thing that he wrote. He tried to backpedal a bit and say he was middle of the road and all this stuff.
Oh, he's not middle of the road. He's a comic.
Yeah, right. So anyways, here is the last thing he wrote. I'll be honest. So I've only seen what's taught in my school, and I'm a middle of the road guy. I haven't seen anything I would consider indoctrination. I know when I'm trying to teach a subject in social studies, I want to make it as politically unbiased as possible, meaning right or left.
History should just be history, by the way.
Exactly. Obviously, he views things through the prism of right or left, which means he can't really be a middle of the road guy. No. Just teach the damn history. Yeah. You know, how hard is that?
Yeah, no, this person's a liar. They are that uneducated and they are a teacher. So I would suggest you find a new line of work, whomever you are.
Ouch. Okay, so let's go to the next story. So on to the next story. Niall's teacher allegedly gives CRT handouts to students. Niall School. Mm-hmm. Niall School, once again. CRT. What is going on with this, Clifton?
Well, by the way, if we were listening to the guy who we were just talking about, I didn't think this was being taught in school.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, this is an English class.
Nowhere. It's not happening. We can't define it.
No,
it's not happening nowhere.
Not going on. This is an English class at Niall's High School. Once again, document being sent out about microaggressions. Since I wrote this story, by the way, I've been contacted by the parents and students, lots more, who are in that class, saying, hey, listen, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This woman is constantly going on about all the CRT stuff, right? I'm not naming this teacher right now because I'm still trying to get a little bit more information. But essentially, I have confirmed 100% that this document now was given to students, all about critical race theory, microaggression, indoctrination, right? Some of these things are some examples of microaggressions on this include asking why a person is quiet if they are Asian, Latino, or Native American. That's considered racist. If you're asking a person why they're quiet and they happen to be Asian, Latino, or Native American, asking why a person is being loud if they happen to be black, or being forced to choose male or female on forms.
So you must speak to people according to how they look, their skin color. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're suggesting?
That sounds a bit racist.
That sounds like something we did in the 1920s. I don't know. I wonder if they have special drinking fountains they're allowed to use according to their skin color.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is pushing. It is in the claim. The claim is that you're being anti-racist by teaching this.
By being racist.
You're teaching people to be racist.
No. We're not racist. We're anti-racist. Get over there, Whitey, and drink out of that water fountain.
Yeah, but it's all stereotyping people based on the color of their skin and claiming that is not racist. These are microaggressions, and we need to talk about them. She also goes around and she talks about, according to these parents and students, constantly talking about your white privilege, talking about middle class America being white privileged, all of this stuff, right? Once again, happening in Niall Schools. Go back. I mean, I've been covering Niall Schools pretty good the last few weeks with a lot of this CRT indoctrination that's happening over there, even with first graders, right? So last week we covered the microaggressions lessons for first graders, which is super fun. Just a blast. Kids love it.
That's disgusting. Thank you for watching this week's Real News Roundup. And as always, stay informed, folks.